the sea golly, yeah, the one straight out of the Bible, just turned red and nobody knows why. Now what they're saying is this is just from the algae, but I don't think so, y'all. This like something out of the 10 plagues. Am I tripping? Don't it look like that? That's crazy, fool. They said this from blue to red overnight. Now you tell me, how does something go from blue to red that quick, like in an instant? Boom. Well, I know when they tell us everything's gonna be fine, that's when you should start worrying. This like the now, the stories your grandma used to tell you. I remember them stories. Them Jones that used to have you nervous. And with everything going on in that part of the world right now, this feels too planned. It feels too perfect. That's crazy. Maybe it's nature, or maybe it's just a sign, or maybe it's just a sign we're not ready to see.
The Sea of Galilee is red. It's blood red. Does this mean the Bible prophecy of the Blood Red Sea is happening right now? The Blood Red Sea, the Sea of Galilee, turning red is a prophecy from the Bible. And it has to do with the end times. The end times. Now, I don't know enough about it. I don't know if it's supposed to be actual blood or just turn red. But it has turned red, except it's not blood. It's actually turned red because of green algae. Some kind of effect with green algae can make the water turn red. But have there been other signs the past month or so that something big is happening around the world? Here's a couple of things. The Voyager space probes found a ring of fire. It's actually plasma around our solar system. Yes, we're surrounded by fire. It's actually plasma. Plus, there have been an unbelievable amount of earthquakes and volcano activity here. An area called the Ring of Fire. Yeah, that's called the Ring of Fire. So, we got the Blood Red Sea. Isn't that some kind of prophecy? We got the Ring of Fire. Hey, isn't that some kind of prophecy too? Happening at the same exact time. Do you think something's going on? Or is it all just a coincidence? Let me know in the comment section. Salut!
So Turkey has just happened to be on fire for 2 or 3 months now. The worst fire in Turkey's history. I don't know why it would take months for them to find out a way to put the fire out or have other nations help, etc. But it's just outrageous what's been happening in Turkey. And it's pretty crazy because the areas on fire are the areas where the churches in Asia Minor were from the book of Revelations, the one that were destroyed in the 1st century. And also Greece is still on fire. Specifically a few weeks ago, a place about where the Church of Corinth was actually on fire as well. All of this that we're seeing is extraordinarily symbolic if you really, really think about it. I came across this media presentation that Turkey did on one of their news channels of what Turkey was going to look like in the future. They said in the future it would have parts of Greece, Bulgaria, northern areas of Iraq, Cyprus, and Syria. And I actually found it because there was a very weird cloud formation in Turkey a few months ago. I told people to look at this cloud and just to pay attention to Turkey in the future. And no, I'm not talking about the one that was very similar to the cloud that was in Cape Town before the major flooding came, although it was very similar to this one. And guess what? India is still flooding. I showed you one a few days ago when they were flooding, when they were making news for other stuff. Coincidentally, not relevant whatsoever, Russia is flooding at the same exact time that India is flooding. It's weird, everyone's looking for the end of the world, but somehow they're missing what appears to be
just 11 hours, more than 750 earthquakes have been recorded beneath Mount Teide, Spain's highest peak and one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the Atlantic. The first swarm began late on August 6th. Over 55 volcano-tectonic quakes struck between 8 and 14 kilometers deep, snapping brittle rock inside the volcanic structure. The largest reached magnitude 1.5. Before dawn, the second swarm hit. More than 700 hybrid-type events erupted in just 5 hours, all concentrated beneath the southwest flank of Pico Viejo, about 10 kilometers down. These events are too small to be felt at the surface, but their meaning is clear. Hybrid quakes are a warning sign of pressurized fluids moving underground, magma, superheated water, and volcanic gases forcing their way through cracks under extreme pressure. This is the 6th swarm of this kind since 2016, part of a pattern showing that Teidi's underground system is active and evolving. The last eruption here was in 1909. Experts estimate Tenerife faces a 30 to 40% chance of eruption within the next 50 years. More than 200,000 people live close enough to be directly impacted if activity escalates. Swarms of this scale and intensity are never meaningless. Teidi is not dormant. It is alive. It is restless. And deep beneath Tenerife, the pressure is building.
In my life, I have never seen this many wildfires and floods happen in the same year. And the more that they happen, the more biblical they seem. There are multiple wildfires happening in California right now that are way worse than the previous fires that happened in the Palisades. At this point, these fires have burnt over 100,000 acres of land in California. Look at this. Look how this is burning. Close to 3,000 people have already been evacuated. And they're saying that at least 14 people died from these fires alone. And this fire is 0% contained. They gave evacuation notices to almost 20,000 people. And look how this fire is burning. They're calling this the perfect season for wildfires because of how the wind is blowing. And as you can see, the wind is blowing. When the Palisades fires hit, we thought we'd never see a fire like that again. And look, California is burning like that all over again.
Oh, guys, the Titiana fault line is potentially waking up after 12,000 years. For over 12,000 years, the Titiana fault, a 620-mile geological scar stretching from Canada's Yukon territory to Alaska, has been eerily quiet, but scientists now say it might be accumulating enough strain to unleash a powerful earthquake, potentially reaching magnitudes of 7.5. Using LiDAR imaging and glacier data, researchers found that the fault has built up about 20 feet, 6 meters of unreleased motion, possibly enough to trigger a rupture. These types of ancient, long dormant faults can suddenly become active again, catching regions off guard. The area is sparsely populated, but towns like Dawson City and local mining operations could face serious risk if the fault breaks. The discovery has geologists calling for more monitoring and hazard reassessment across the region. They've called it a sleeping giant that could cause major catastrophes across the region if this fault line did suddenly wake and unleash a huge earthquake. With everything going on recently, let's find out.
Well, I tell y'all, you're worried about the wrong things. I'll show you a few pictures that I just took in the last few days and show you what you should be concerned with. Can you explain that? And they're everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Show you another one.
Looks like something.
So I was looking at the Statue of Liberty earlier, and y'all know I see what most people don't. And I told y'all that if you invert a picture, it'll show you what's really there. Y'all check this out. Y'all tell me what you see right there. Does that not look like a reptile to you?
I can see a face.
Things are crazy, y'all, and it's about to get way crazier. Y'all better get right. I've shown and told y'all so much over the past 45 years that this app won't let you see. I ain't get banned or my videos get taken down, but if y'all are interested, you want to know what the sun, the moon, the stars, clouds, trees, and all that kind of stuff is, message me and I'll tell you and show you. And yeah, that's a cloud. Right. It sure ain't. Those interdimensional crafts are everywhere, guys. Everywhere. You just gotta know what to look for. The skies and the trees, the waves of the ocean, wandering stars. Read the book of Jude. You'll see where these things dwell. Remember I showed you the picture of the reptile a while ago? Well, this is in the White House. What do you see on the wall back there? These things rule this country, guys. I'm telling you, 100%. And there's another craft. And I tell you, they're everywhere, guys. I mean, they're everywhere. And they're all in the trees. On the trees, in the trees, everywhere.
Whoa.
And there's another one. Like I told y'all, if you invert a picture, like put it in negative, 9 times out of 10, it'll show you what's really there. Y'all check this one out. Look at the pyramid up there to the left with the eye on it. There's a bunch of other things in there too, but I'm just wanted to show you the pyramid. Here's one I took of some entities busting through the matrix during a lightning storm. And for those of you wondering about the Anunnaki, that's one I took in the clouds. What does that look like to you? Does that look like an Anunnaki to you? They're trying to push this alien agenda on you. They're not aliens, guys. They're demons. And the Bible tells you that many hearts will fail from fear when they see what's truly coming, and it's coming. And I've been trying to get on this app for years now and show and tell you all about what's surrounding you and get you prepared for it. Don't fall for this alien bullshit, because that's just what it is.
Yeah, they will just build over top of anything.
Saying the mass shooter in Atlanta was an anti-vaxxer. Let me preface this whole thing by saying I'm just repeating what the officers on the ground said and what the media is saying. These are not my words, okay? TikTok. But it gets even stranger than that. So far, what people understand is that they believe that he thought he was hurt from a certain thing that we were just talking about. Now, not related whatsoever, 1000% irrelevant. Coincidentally, it happens on the same exact day that RFK came out talking about some stuff. What kind of stuff does RFK usually talk about? Vaccines. TikTok, if you come after this video for what the health secretary himself said, I'm coming after y'all. And y'all, not too long ago, we just had the United Healthcare thing with Luigi. Very insane times that we're living in. Now listen to what they say right here.
Got that new reporting from John Miller. I'm going to read this to make sure I get it correct. The law enforcement official tells John Miller that after speaking with family members, police are operating under the theory that the shooter either was sick or believed that he was sick and blamed the illness on the... So you understand why he may have been targeting the CDC. That's information that we're getting. And we've also been told that people around that area believe they saw that gun being pointed toward that building. That goes along with the reporting that we had earlier. And of course, I told you about sources telling me we needed to be here around 4:50 because they believe someone was trying to attack the CDC.
And for those that say, oh, CNN, Fox, Newsmax, OAN, they're all the same thing. Sometimes in this industry, you just gotta let them talk. As of now, there is one unnamed, critically injured.
You still living in California right now? You should leave. California is on fire again, y'all. And we're not talking about just one fire, y'all. We're talking about multiple fires ripping through the state right now. Y'all thought the ones early in the year was bad? They talking about these joints finna be even worse. Y'all, it's a fire NATO again. What am I watching? Why is it another fire NATO? First you got the Canyon fire. They said this exploded yesterday near Lake Peru. Y'all, and at this point, they said it's 0% contained. Look at this. We're talking almost 8 square miles gone in hours. So as of right now, over 2,700 people has been evacuated. And they say another 14,000 people should get ready to be evacuated because they think it's coming that way too. They said all it's going to take is for the wind that's going this way to decide I want to go the other way. And then y'all won't be short, so y'all better, just prepare. So the firefighters that's fighting this right now, they saying it's hella impossible to slow this down. And then this next one, the different fire that's in Central California, they said this is the biggest wildfire of 2025. And it's burning over 100,000 acres already. And guess what, y'all? It's only 15% contained. At this point, y'all, I don't know. Because earlier in the year, when these fires happened, I was like, what the? And now it's happening right now, and they say it's still nowhere near over in wildfire season. Is that true? This starting to feel too familiar. I don't like it. This ain't getting worse, y'all. I need y'all thoughts down below in the comments. Do y'all think these wildfires is the new normal for California, or is it something else at play? Let me know down below in the comments.
California's wildfire season is no longer waiting for summer. It's starting earlier and lasting longer. A new analysis of nearly 3 decades of fire records shows that in 11 of the state's 13 regions, the first large fires now ignite between 6 and 46 days sooner than they did in the early 1990s. In the Cascades, the shift is extreme. The season now begins a month and a half earlier. Warmer winters and springs are melting snow sooner and drying out vegetation weeks ahead of schedule. That means fuels are ready to burn earlier, giving fires more time each year to spread. Even as human-caused ignitions have dropped, the earlier drying means the season opens earlier, no matter what sparks the flames. Severe droughts, like the one from 2012 to 2015, have pushed the timing forward even more. In parts of Northern California, the start date is now well outside anything seen in natural year-to-year patterns. Last year's fire season began ahead of schedule and tore through communities, destroying homes and filling the air with smoke long before the traditional peak. Fire agencies now face seasons that start weeks earlier than they did a generation ago, with more days each year when dangerous conditions can align.
Okay, I'm about to show y'all how they really playing in our face and hiding stuff in plain sight. So last night I was talking to my brother from the Unity movement, and we were like vibing, connecting on FaceTime, and we was like, man, they finally got the internet right. And he said, like, after 30 years, like, they finally got social media right. And it hit me because we, like, we connected through the Unity movement. Like, it really felt like real life. Like, I've never enjoyed social media until TikTok, because I feel like I'm legitimately connecting with people, right? Boom, it sparked, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, Ethernet. Hold on. So this is what I made. Now let me go and take you through the deep dive. So let's just start with the word ether, right? Ether is the 5th element. So once upon a time, there was 5 elements, and they were earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Ether, the one that we really don't know about, they never talk about, is the space that all the other elements exist within. It's considered the animating force. That's what we call spirit. It is unseen, but it is the binding agent, right? Basically, it is the connective tissue of the spirit. So memory, communication, intuition, right? Mind you, they removed this very quietly removed this from history and dropped it down to the 4 elements. All right, so let's pull the full word together. We got ether. We know what ether is, the 5th element, the channel, the memory keeper. And then the word net. What is a net? What does it do? it is mesh, and it captures stuff. You catch stuff in it, right? An Ethernet cable. So it is a net to catch ether, to catch the fifth element, the spiritual channel, the memory keeper. Are you following me? They literally straight up told us they was catching the ether in a net. But y'all, this is where it gets wild, right? And where it enters my realm of emotional intelligence, because it is mimicked after fascia, which is basically like, it's like transparent web-like connective tissue that is in our body. And that is literally where ether travels through. That's where our emotions travel through. That's where literally all of the signals are sent through our fascia, throughout our body. And they look like webs. Do you see this? These are webs. And it is alive. It's dynamic. It's a sensing. It senses movement, adapts to stress. And it's actually more than tissue, because it's like a communication hub between your internal world and your external world. Internal spirit, external physical world. It is connection between the two, how we communicate from our internal world to our external world. Do you feel me? So basically what they did is they took our internal structure and copied our fascia, the web that's in our body that carries the emotions faster than nerves, okay? And they built fiber optic cables to mimic it, right? And basically our fascia is the internet of our body. It moves through the ether like a signal, and when you feel something in your gut or in your chest, that's basically the web being pinged. I mean, come on. Do you see the parallels? The webs, the webbing, the connective tissue, stuff getting caught in the web. Like, okay, so listen. If we know about spiders, when a bug like flies into it, it kind of pings and lets the spider know, hey, something's there. That is that like gut feeling that you feel, that like when that intuition hit, and that's that communication that's about to come through, which are your emotions, giving you messages about the spiritual world that is now needing to be known in your external world. So y'all, they literally created the internet based like how we connect through ether. They use a cable, and they figured out a way to pull the ether from our space, our field, through these fiber optic cables that mimic the fibers in our connective tissue and animate from the ether the way that we're supposed to do naturally as humans, because we pull from the ethers and we're transmitters of ether.